So we were going to talk more about the lab and
Yes,
garden.
I am interested in that because you are a state certified lab.
Yes, state licensed lab,
Yes.
right. To distill. I can have precursor chemicals. Obviously, I don't want any. That's the whole point. Um,
Yes.
and I use no hexane when I pull off the essential oils. When you distill, you get mostly water that comes off. Now, the water is wonderful. It smells great, like the plant, but you don't get a huge amount of essential oil. However, it's hard to separate those two things. There's essential oil in the water that you can't see a lot of, as well as, so commercially, what they do is they use hexane to pull off the essential oil from the water, and it gives them a lot more product. I don't do that because, one thing, hexane's a petrochemical. Why am I growing organically and going through all kinds of
Oh,
ways to make everything as pure as possible, and then use hexane on it? They cook it off, but
that's
you know
illogical.
as well as I do, the imprint is still there.
Yep.
So yeah, and anyway, and that's why Baylor came to me, because they knew what I was doing and the way I was doing it. And it wasn't about being old-fashioned. It was about, we don't want these chemicals, because in the hospital, they immediately started using them with transplant patients, solid organ, bone marrow transplant. And so they said it has to be a pure product. There they go.
Wow.
You don't know what you came in here for until it appears in your life. It's like, oh, okay. Because people would say, you could make so much more money, and you could. And it's like, it's not driving me. It's not getting my attention. And then when the right thing comes in, you're like, yeah, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. You just know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize when I was going through and doing my reading and stuff that you do skincare, therapeutic sprays and lotions, pain remedies, hair and bath products, and blends diluted, in the
Yeah.
carrier oils.
Yes.
And you do all kinds of stuff. You do this through like the actual applications. I was reading, and it affects everything. It affects your energy meridians, and I'm not even sure where all of those are. So,
Look at an acupuncture
is it
chart.
beyond your chakras?
Yeah, look at an acupuncture chart.
I have.
They show lines of meridians and their energies that go, and they
Okay.
are usually go with an organ, but it's only 10% of that organ. It's 90% everywhere else in your body, and it's interesting. It's a very spiritual healing, even though you can get physical effects. So yeah, we go through meridians, and chakras are affected. And to me, they're two different things. Chakras are they're like a flower that opens. It's a vortex of energy. And
Right.
of course, in the body, if you look at the spine, there's lots of nerve ganglia, nerve plexus, major nerves that go in each where all those chakras are. So it makes sense. But the meridians, they travel all over your body. Like your bladder meridian ends up at the corner of your eye, like where your eyebrow starts. And who would think
That's
your bladder
interesting.
could get all the way over there? But it does. So,
That's an odd thing.
the,
What are some
the,
other neat ones?
um,
Anything in
I like
particular?
the heart meridian, and the heart itself as an organ. It's very esoteric. I mean, it travels the equivalent of over 5,000 miles all throughout your body, and through circulation and how everything works with that. And um, the the first heartbeat in the fetus starts, the brain starts with the brain, starts the brain developing, and it develops in the body of then the baby that is born. For the first 3 years, it develops in a certain part of the brain called the amygdala. And the amygdala is really where the unconscious is that we can access anyway. But it's all the memories we have the first 3 years, and we don't remember most of them. So if you have trauma during that time and illness and different things, it's there. And the only thing that can access that is going through the heart meridian and the heart energy. And that's, of course, what the flower essences, the particular essences that I make, work with that kind of energy. It's interesting to me.
That is interesting.
I'm a romantic, I guess, maybe. Somewhat.
I think you are. I don't think that you would be doing what you do if you weren't. That's just my opinion.
When I was studying herbs, not just what I already had been exposed to through my ancestry, but when I was first studying herbs, I came to something that they were describing, and they used the word balance. And it rang bells in me that I didn't know were there. I could feel it in many different levels, and like all these different bodies that came out from this physical one. And so everything after that, I started looking at balancing. And it's since become a very big word in holistic and all that. But, 45 years ago, it wasn't.
Right.
And it means that we work on the strengths of somebody as much as we would work on the negative part. You can't get somebody well by working on what's wrong. You can't.
No, I agree with that.
You have to build their strengths or depend on those strengths to be able to, chip away or make a change that would affect what we call the negative situation that they have. Somewhere in there. And you have to go deep with somebody. It's not apparent. You have to get that feeling. And to me, that's all heart energy. Again.
That's just, I agree. You have to support the positives. And
I don't like when I go to somebody and they tell me all the things that's wrong with me. It's like, well, now I feel bummed.
No doubt. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They didn't laugh at my jokes, nothing. They're just so serious. Come on. So.
Oh, that's a hoot, though. But, when we were talking about the spiritual side of this, and that's what we were just discussing too, I am so surprised that people don't recognize that that's a huge part of any kind of healing, and that the aromas can actually help you cleanse not just your mind and body, but your spirit too.
Because they take you back to that true scent that you had developed in the fetus and have kept your whole life. And it resonates, and it just resonates everywhere. And it makes things work. And it's like, golly, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to suffer to get well or anything. So, yeah.
Yeah. And it affects how you view whatever your illness is too.
And if you're not ill, and that's very fortunate, but a lot of people work in paranormal and work on all different levels for prosperity, abundance, other levels of experiencing in life. You still can't do that looking at the negative.
No, you can't. And if you focus on negative, you're going to wind up in trouble anyway, really, no matter what environment you're in.
Yeah.
And what you have going on.
Get clear when I want to attract abundance, and I may not say what kind of abundance, okay? It could be brand new napkins. I don't know. And I might be thinking bank account at the time, but I try to clear all that and just really get into what abundance is. And just like that song or that music, the melody that goes with the flowers, get into that kind of place. And then you do your affirmations for abundance. That's when it works. I mean, you can manifest it in moments. It's amazing. It's almost frightening. Surprising is a better word.
Yes.
Fast it can manifest. And other times you're just plodding along. It's like, is this ever going to end? You're not in the right place.
Well, or it's not the right thing for you that you're seeking.
Yeah. So I try not to. It's like trying to define happiness. I just affirm it. I don't try to. I know if you ask me to define it, some of the things I would say. But at the time I'm asking for happiness, I do not define it. And I don't look for it and don't try and judge it. Is that all I got? Like, wham, here comes the universe.
Well, the universe does have a sense of humor, too.
I was born on April Fool's Day, and I guarantee you the universe has a sense of humor.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Actually, there's more to it than that. My mother, my second oldest brother, had all older brothers, and he had nephritis, and he's in his 70s now. Way back then, when he was 2 years old, that was a deadly disease. And like cancer seems to be to so many people now, or heart disease. And they sent him home. They sent him home and told my mother, he's going to die. So she couldn't accept that. And so she did her kind of prayerful affirmations. And her way of asking for it is to give something back. Mm-hmm. And so she told the universe, if I ever have another baby, and she related it to this experience. I was born with double ureters and an extra kidney vessel. Now, how often is somebody born like that? Not very often. And my brother had kidney disease.
Holy cow.
Yeah, born on April Fool's. I said it must be a holy day somewhere. That was my excuse. And my name came from that experience too. So the name, and then, oh boy, I said, Ma, did you think you got the affirmation wrong? And these old Italians, she just folded her arms in front of her, never said a word.
There you go.
There you go.
You know what? We are up on our break. We're a little bit late, but this is only 2 minutes, and we will be right back to finish this conversation. I can't believe we're fixing to go into our final segment. Unbelievable. We'll be right back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to